As we got to the counter, she flipped her lid because I didn't want to share a box with her and wanted my own cup of pretzel bites, then stormed off like a toddler. The reason I didn't want to share my pretzel bites is because she never shares evenly. Her idea of sharing is taking all of what she wants, then leaving a few bites for the next person. Also, I literally had no more money to buy my own soft pretzel bites because the only money I'm able to spend is the money I work odd jobs for, and she had $125 left of the money meant to be for both of us. Second one, I went to a nice Italian restaurant with my family to celebrate a birthday, and the entire time, my aunt had something to complain about. First, it was the menus, then it was the seats, which she kept harping on until we literally changed tables for her. Then after that, it was the service, which was great. The waiters were so incredibly nice, and she made quite a few racist remarks about the staff with darker skin. Overall, she was being awful. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called the Gangster Rapper. It says, "So why are you still hanging out with her?" OP responded and said, "I live with her and she's the only one who can drive me place to place." Remember the comments I made on the previous one where I said that she must have been called a Karen by somebody else because she's the epitome of what a Karen is? I think I'd rather walk to go out than jump into that Karen's car. This story comes to us from Zandroida1. Karen thinks she has found out about some business scheme. So I worked as a waiter at a restaurant for a couple years. One of the most infuriating experiences was when a Karen and her group of baby Karens sat down on a table. I took their orders and brought the food, and half an hour later, I see that one of them has an empty glass. So I ask her if she wants some more water. It's important to mention that in the restaurant I worked at, water was free, and part of my job description was to walk around and refill any empty glasses with water. She looks at me, smirks a bit, and says, "Yeah, no thank you. I know you type of people." I was weirded out, but continued working like usual. A bit later, I ask another Karen in the table, this time the main Karen, if she wants some water. Here's the dialogue. "You asked my friend before. I know people like you, and I'm not gonna get my money stolen. No thank you." Miss, what do you mean stolen? Water is free." "Haha, and I'm supposed to believe that? Why would you intentionally go out of your way to give us free water?" Because it's my job?" "Yeah, no, I'm sure you will charge us for that later. Businesses always do stuff like this." "Don't worry, miss, water is complimentary and completely free of charge." "I don't believe you. Prove it." As you can see here in the menu, it says that water is in fact free." "Okay, but how can I know that you won't charge me for it later on?" As you can imagine at this point, I started losing patience. So I just call in my manager, this very assertive woman who doesn't take BS from anyone, and beg her to deal with it. Needless to say, the Karens left completely defeated. It was honestly hilarious to watch. The whole staff was spying through the kitchen door that had a window. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Monolith of Tear. It says, "For future use, a group of Karens is called a complaint." Another user down below, Rick RI401, says they are also called a homeowners association. Don't you wish as a server when you're bringing up these people's tab that you could just hit a button that adds on a PETA tax? That's pain in the butt tax. Because servers should get better compensated for dealing with groups like this. This story comes to us from Little Big Gran. Dueling bookstore Karens. So I'm waiting to use a well-known bookstore chain bathroom. There's a line. A white privileged mom with her tribe shoves past me to get her darlings into the bathroom. A minute later, an older workman brushes past me to use same. The mother sees this as obviously some pervert trying to molest her kids. It's a multiple stall bathroom. She starts yelling at him. He says he needed to get in there. She screamed, her children don't see it this way. I meanwhile give up and sit in a chair to wait. The lady harumps away with her kid, only to immediately ignore where they go to. 10 minutes later, she's screaming their names. Apparently, she only worries about the bathroom pervs. Meanwhile, a store manager prevents the worker going in. She tells him their construction crew outside must have a site manager at all times, or the workers can't do anything. And she's telling corporate they're not paying for downtime. The workman leaves. I go in and hear water running all over the handicap stall. Apparently, the worker was going to try and fix it as a courtesy. A few minutes later, she drags in an underling male employee to try to fix it. So, the bookstore got no real repairs. I suspect there will be a padding of the construction bill outside. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called MuscleCars1970. It says, "Damn, this bookstore sounds like a real hellhole of humanity. Jesus." Well, I'm glad the commenter understood the story because I had to read it a couple times before I did. Apparently there's a Karen, but also the store manager is a Karen too, I think. I don't know. Comment down below because I have no idea what just happened. This story comes to us from Craig1990. Karen thinks we need to hire more employees. I had a Karen the other day. She walked into our store and was advised to sign in to our queue, and she would be helped when someone is available. A minute later, she started shouting in the corner, "You need to hire more people." After the third time of this, I responded with, "Our application is online if you'd like to apply." She shut up for a second and then said, "I was just trying to let you know." And I responded with, "We are well aware of our staffing issues. Lady, the reason we are short-staffed and had to outsource our call center is because of people like you abusing our reps." Jumping down to the comment section on this one, we have one from a user called Host Off the Coast. Wildlife documentary narrator. The wild Karen always ferociously prioritizes her own needs, ever changing as they are. Karen, that's exactly how it works. If you yell from the corner that they need to hire more people, those people are just gonna magically appear out of nowhere so you can get out of there faster. That's exactly how that works. This story comes to us from Sir Yobanos141. Something I learned throughout the years at work. Not really an FU Karen, more like, that name again, I bet. Anyways, I work at fast food for 3 years part-time. I'm currently in college trying to pursue a degree in graphics design. Pay is decent at $15 for entry level, and the manager is surprisingly nice and willing to cooperate, unlike the managers I worked for previously. Working in fast food has its bad things, mainly customer service. Over the years, I've come to notice a trend. Whenever a customer finishes their order and I ask their names, sometimes I feel like a name would correlate to something. What do I mean? Well, over the years, whenever I get these names, their behavior is usually this. Karen, demanding, acts like a woman child. Bill, confused, doesn't know what he's saying. John, always wanting a senior discount. Joe shouts at me whenever I'm incorrect with their order. Mark orders a crap ton of food. Emily always tries to get free food. Courtney has 7 bratty kids. Etc, etc, etc. You get the idea. Anyways, as I made this post, I have 7 Courtney's orders. FML. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called The Riddler's Wife. It says, "This was a laugh I didn't know I needed. Thank you, kind Redditor." And OP replied to this one saying, "Glad I could help you out." I agree, this one was a great laugh. Although I had to try not to laugh while recording it, I recorded this 4 times. Just saying. This story comes to us from Prestigious Post 558. Male Karen in public washroom. Went to Costco today and went to the washroom. As you can expect, it's dirty as F. When I got out of the stall, this one guy starts demanding that I clean the stall, telling me how I should be taught how to clean up after himself. I tell the man that I didn't do crap and that it's like that when I showed up. Yet he keeps his stupid rant up, going on and on about how I'm irresponsible, while simultaneously blaming me for something I didn't do. At this point, I had enough. I told him that he can clean it if he wants and laughed at him. Boy, he got angry at that too,